Climate change poses a real and potentially irreversible threat to the lands and waters that sustain us.
It's real, and we're already seeing impacts. Glaciers are shrinking, ice caps melting, climatic effects on the whole host of systems that we depend on.
Deforestation represents almost 20% of global annual greenhouse gas emissions, more than all the planes, trains, and automobiles in the world combined.
By taking in so much carbon dioxide, forests therefore serve as huge carbon stores.
There's 200 billion tons of carbon in tropical forests. If a big chunk of that ends up in the atmosphere, we're cooked, literally.
We're losing tropical forests at a pace of about 13 million hectares per year, a little over 1 million hectares per month.
We really can't achieve what scientists are saying is a prudent level of greenhouse gas emissions in our atmosphere without including forests at this point. It's a large enough proportion of our emissions that we really have to address it in some manner.
1 acre of forest puts out 4 tons of oxygen. It's about the air we breathe, but it's also about the medicines we use. It's also about the food we use.
Healthy forests support healthy people and healthy communities. Forests provide food, shelter, water, and jobs for people. By making sure that local communities are involved in measures to protect and restore forests, we can make sure that their interests to protect and sustain their livelihoods are also met.
People convert land into agricultural use because they're trying to make a living. This is the highest economic use of the land given the incentives that face them today. As we start getting serious about tackling climate change and we start to invest money in dealing with the problem, if we can take some of that money and focus it onto the land users, focus it onto the current drivers of deforestation and degradation, so that paying to keep forests intact, we can tip the balance so that it becomes a higher economic value than the current conversion that's going on.
We need some funding up front to build capacity for measuring, monitoring, verification, accounting, institutions, governance, all those really hard questions. But we do need to be transitioning toward a market-based approach at some point to get that sustainable long-term source of financing.
Sometimes, particularly during these tough economic times, we hear it's great to protect the environment, but we just can't afford to do it right now because we have more pressing needs. And my answer to that would be we can do both. Forest conservation is a primary way to do that, to promote a healthy environment as well as a healthy economy. Forests have the potential to help American industry reduce carbon emissions while keeping expenses relatively low, allowing consumers to enjoy goods and services at an affordable cost.
The Nature Conservancy wants to seek to generate credits for reducing emissions through a thoughtful market mechanism, creating carbon credits, which we believe is the most cost-effective and politically feasible way for companies to comply with future restrictions on greenhouse gas emissions.
As we look out at trying to address this significant environmental challenge, and we look out at trying to do so in a way that maintains a reasonable cost for electricity and for gasoline and for everything else across the country, having access to emission reductions on the international sphere is going to be extremely important.
Forest preservation does benefit the environment, and key to AEP and key to the U.S. economy, it will help us keep our costs to address the climate challenge at a lower level.
Avoided deforestation brings developing countries to the table. It gives them an opportunity to be rewarded to reduce their emissions. It gives them a chance to be a part of an international agreement. It gives us a chance to have cost mitigation.
Forest conservation offers a win-win, win-win proposition. Protecting forests can reduce the greenhouse gas emissions that cause climate change. It can protect biodiversity. It can provide sustainable livelihoods for people, and it can provide a cost-effective option for the rest of society to help achieve the emissions reductions we need to stop climate change.